Everybody wants to call themselves a CEO, right? What's up, y'all? This is Ozzy McIntosh. I am your host and founder of High Skies LLC. Everybody wants to call themselves a CEO, but they don't actually know what it takes to build a business. And to be honest, that was me. About a year ago, I decided that I wanted to start a drone business, not really knowing how to run a business, and that's fine. But over the past year, I have actually failed at building a drone business. I had to take a deep look at myself and realize why that was happening. But other than that, I decided that I wanted to talk to people that are actually using drones and successfully using drones in their business, along with other auxiliary technology. Then I was like, wait, I'm probably not the only one that's going through this. And it'd probably be very useful if I were able to record these conversations and put them out on the internet so that people could see what to do, what not to do, and possibly how they can take little different tips and strategies from these other business owners and implement them into their business. After doing all that thinking and trying to figure out what type of platform it would be, I decided to call it the Drone Joint based off of the name of my weekly newsletter that you can sign up to if you hit the link below. And the Drone Joint is basically just a virtual place that you can come to learn about everything related to drones. And now I feel like this addition to it is like practical advice that you're getting from people that are using drones in their business, along with a weekly newsletter, tips, tricks, a blog, all this stuff sent to your email or whatever you're watching this on, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, or any other service. I wanted to basically make a podcast. So let's call it a fucking podcast. That's what it is. So I am proud to present episode 1 of the Drone Joint podcast. This one is featuring a young man by the name of Rut Patel, who is the CEO and founder of Voyager Industries. I think you guys are really going to find this super helpful, and I am super excited to get this series going, and hopefully it grows into something bigger. Number one, I just want to help other people along with helping myself. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so this is the Drone Joint episode 1. I am your host, Ozzy McIntosh, and I am here with Rut Patel, CEO and founder of Voyager Industries. Rut, how you doing?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me here.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's actually give a little bit of background about your business and how you even got into drones and how drones help your business.
Sure.
Good.
So, I was born and raised in India, and when I was there, was a very good student, but I was always into things that flew and always into the technology, always wanted to make something that would fly. So when I was in India, I was playing around with a lot of RC toys and kind of making my own. And I started getting into making my own drones, and I made a drone in India, and that time I was in the middle of a process to come to America. My parents applied for visa when I was 1 year old. My uncle helped them apply for the visa. He was in America. So we waited 18 years. Then I finally got to America. But when I came to America, I didn't knew what I wanted to do. So the first 2 years, I just worked to kind of save money. But in the meantime, my original passion was aviation and how things worked and the technology. So I was always researching about it. So while I was researching, I remembered that I made a drone in India, and it was a big deal for me to make something. So I'm like, why don't I actually start the business using those kind of technology? Because those are the only thing I knew. I was 19-year-old when I came to America, so I didn't knew much. I didn't go to college, so kind of had no idea what I was doing, but I just knew I wanted to do something that I really liked.
Awesome, man. And so like growing up where I grew up in North Jersey, your culture and my culture, we actually like coexisted for the most part.
Yeah.
And so I know for a lot of the times, like especially immigrant parents, they have sometimes, a lot of times, they have a need or a want for you to succeed in academics.
Absolutely.
Did you feel that pressure from your family in general, or?
Yeah, a lot. So when I decided not to go to school, the whole family was very upset because
Of course.
what else you going to do? So I decided that but this was my passion, so I had to follow that.
Exactly.
So even though they were disappointed, I kind of did exactly what I wanted to, and now they are actually very happy that
Of
I'm
course.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a hard choice to make. I'm actually a college dropout myself. Not super proud of it, but understanding that I had a different path that I wanted to take.
Yeah.
Even though my parents also immigrants, they wanted me to be academically successful, and I was up until college. And I was like, you know what, can't do this. I guess the difference between you and I is you actually had a plan at the time. For me, it was kind of just like I can't be in school. Let me figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
That was
that's
kind of
good, man.
me too. I didn't have a plan, but I
Okay.
it was a similar. Like I had little idea what I was going to do, but didn't actually how I was going to do it. But sometimes you have to burn your ship and jump into the water. So
Exactly, man. Exactly. All right, man. So I would say, actually, I think we missed the recording on the pandemic part. So,
sure.
if you could tell me again how the pandemic has either helped, or affected your business, and as well as like how it even helped or affected you to, like mentally.
Sure. So, um, pandemic was definitely the part my business grew a lot and the most because not necessarily because of the pandemic,
Hmm.
because of the pandemic, we figured out a lot of ways to get in front of our client, and that allows me to get in front of many clients in a very short period of time and a lot of kind of changing in the system. So it has definitely helped me. I was also in California inspecting power lines with the utility company during
Wow.
the pandemic going on. So business has always been um, good, but since the pandemic started, it has really took off.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome, man. That's amazing. So how did you get into the utility like energy business? Was that something that you had in mind off rip, or was it like you were using drones to do your business and then you realized that there was a need for drones in the energy sector?
Yeah, so there is a definitely huge need for drone in many industry, but the three industry that I decided to work on was energy, agriculture, and infrastructure, and
Hmm.
utility kind of falls under that. So I wanted to got kind of get the experience. So I partnered with some other companies to get the subcontract. I went out there, started collecting data, and then after I came back, I started developing our own system using that data. Um,
Mm.
so that was, but there is a huge market for not only in the utility industry. I mean, a utility, even in utility, there is a lot of huge market, not only for power line inspection, but for power plant inspection,
Hmm.
collecting the GPS data for each pole, and
Mm.
also collecting data for solar panels. So there is a lot of
Yes.
huge market into those industry. That was
Yeah.
one of the reason. Yeah,
Absolutely, man. I've seen most popularly, I think, a growth in using drones for solar, for sure. It's just
absolutely.
amazing these sensors that you could attach to these drones. But that brings me to
Yes.
my next point is I think a lot of people think that they have to go out and buy this equipment if they want to work in this industry, and sometimes that might be the case. But how was it for you? Did you feel like you needed to go ahead and finance that equipment, buy it, or were you able to rent?
Absolutely not. It's not the equipment that gets the job done. I mean, it definitely helps you get the
It
job
helps.
done, but it's actually the focus on the problem that you're solving that gets the job done. So it doesn't matter what equipment you have to start with. Use whatever you have to get started, and that will always bring in the revenue to get to the next equipment that you need to help your business. When I started my business, I'll tell you, like when I came to America, I worked
Hmm.
two jobs the same time, just a retail job. I worked at Dairy Queen and worked at some pharmacy company at night.
It's
I
awesome.
saved enough money to buy my first drone. I
Yeah.
saved $5,000 and I purchased a DJI Inspire one time. It was a long time ago, 2017, 2016. And that's how I kind of got it and started. So if you see, that's the only thing I had, just one drone. And that
Okay.
eventually crashed in like 2 months. And I had to purchase the Mavic or something that came out. And I purchased that, and I basically just got started because of that equipment that I had. It's not
Yeah.
the equipment, it's actually what I was using that equipment to do. So
To
I
do.
was using Mavic to do a lot of roof inspection. I never got into like a photography and all that. I was always focused on like more like an engineering work. So
Awesome.
after I
Yeah. So
got the
actually, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying after I got the Mavic, I started trying to find the work that I could do with that tool, and later on I could upgrade.
There you go. There you go. So your company, would you say it's more of a like it's an engineering firm,
So
or
first, when
is
was new to America, I was trying to figure out exactly what to do. So whatever I had in mind, whatever the equipment I had, and of course, I didn't had a lot of money and no connection to start with. So I had
yeah,
to start whatever I could. And as I later on, I started the business, and more I talked to a lot of people, I realized there is a need for engineering, not just the drone. Because drone, you cannot build a business just on the drone. It's just a tool. It's like
yeah,
mechanics saying, oh, I have a wrench business. No, you don't. Like you are in the business of fixing car, not actually using your tool, right?
yes,
So
yes.
that's why I've kind of focused. I'm like, okay, I use this drone enough, this tool enough to kind of be where I'm at. Now it's time to take to the next level. So I found it, and at that time I have made a little bit of money with my drone business, and I was getting some contracts. So I had
Hmm.
enough money to hire an engineer and start my own engineering firm. So I started the
Ah,
engineering firm, and it dissolved the old company. So now it
awesome.
started as a drone company, but it transitioned into the engineering firm.
And as just to reiterate, you didn't go to school. So again, I think a lot of people think that they need to know everything and they got to be expert in everything to
Yeah,
do a certain business, but that's not the case. As you could see, you can hire people to fill those holes. And you could really just get started like with just one engineer with a lot of stuff, including like land surveying in some states, or hiring just a
correct,
surveyor. You know, there's so many different ways
correct.
to go about it.
Yeah,
And that's kind of something I realized through the pandemic because I started my business like mid-pandemic, but it was kind of on a whim, you know. And I think because of that, I've kind of been kind of here and there, and I haven't really focused. And it's only till recently that I've been able to focus on what it is that I wanted to do. But listening to the podcast that I saw you on previously kind of just helped me boost into this, which is why I wanted to get you on to talk about a few more things. So your headquarters, I believe, are in Florida. Is that your main base?
yes, Florida.
Oh,
But I have done very little work in Florida. I
oh really?
worked outside the state. I worked in 25 different states,
Wow.
doing all kind of work, power line inspection, cell towers, roof inspection, using a LiDAR drone to do vegetation management. So like all kind of stuff. But the Florida is the place where I have the office and where my employee work.
Got it, got it. And most of those early jobs you said through like subcontracting, basically like you were subcontracted.
Not necessarily. So when I
Okay.
started my business, I started approaching a lot of clients directly. I started reaching out to a lot of construction companies. So in the beginning, it was my own clients, and I wasn't seeing much of a growth. I was just making enough money to survive, but I wasn't seeing a huge growth. But because I didn't knew enough. Okay, that
Yeah.
was the reason. I didn't had experience. And also you have to realize that this industry is so brand new at that time that
Yes.
no one had idea what's going on at that time.
Yeah.
So everyone's trying to figure it out. So I kind of took the opportunity here and there, like, okay, there is the contract for cell tower inspection. I will go be there for a month. I'll learn everything about it I need to know. I will learn about the process. I will learn about the finances. I will learn about the travel. I will learn about the equipment. I'll learn about the software they use, everything trying to understand and trying to create my own system. Because I didn't go to school, it allowed me to learn in that way that could actually benefit me.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that knowledge and started creating my own system. So that was kind of how I got started. Use a subcontract as a little bit, then use that knowledge to create something of your own to
There you go.
scale it. Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So I wanted to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, something that I believe your business is either beginning or has used pretty heavily.
Yes.
And is that again another? I'm sure you have some idea of code and some idea of programming, but you didn't program the software itself yourself, did
I
you, or was?
I give you an example, how I got started in AI. And just to let you know and your audience know that I know zero thing about coding. I have no idea. I just know how to spell it, and I know how to, and I watch a
There
quick
you-
30-minute YouTube video to kind of understand what it is, what I need to do. Then I
yeah.
hired an engineer and kind of told them I gained enough knowledge to be able to communicate with some expert and kind of hand
There you go.
those things off to them. So you don't necessarily need to know the coding or
Yeah.
anything, but just yeah. So how I got started into AI was when the Hurricane Irma happened in 2017
Mm.
in Florida. That's when I really started my business, and I was reaching out to a lot of roofing companies, a lot of construction companies, a lot of insurance company, and just
Mhm.
collecting data for them. So I had like over 1,800 roof data that I had. So I reached out to an engineer. I'm like, how about we create a system using this data? Every time the drone sees the broken tile, it remembers what the broken tile looked like from all those
Mm.
1,800 houses I did. Um, every time it sees the cracked tile, or if it's moved has because of the wind, it recognizes. So now
Mhm.
whenever the drone recognizes it, annotates and marks it, and then data goes to our engineer and they sign it and stamp it. So that's how I
Wow.
kind of
Okay.
got started into that. But as I was collecting more data for other industry I was working on, even as a subcontractor, I was using that data to train my own model.
Got it. Got it. So it's machine learning, I'm assuming.
Machine learning, yes.
That's amazing, man.
It
And
uses a Python code.
good. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I think Python is another one of those things where I actually I know a little bit of Python, enough to be able to teach like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old.
Okay,
Not
wonderful.
enough, not enough to program like artificial intelligence for drones. That's
Got
amazing. But again, it's not about knowing everything. It's about knowing the person that knows enough to get what you need to get done. And
perfectly. You said
yeah,
it
man.
perfectly. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think your business is a good example of, from different parts of just that, like you don't have to know everything. And I want to keep stressing that because a person like myself and a lot of people that just start are always going to feel like this weight on them, that they need to either know everything or have all the money in the world. And it's just about starting.
that's correct. You start where you are. A
Yes.
lot of people get stuck into the thing that, oh, I don't have this equipment, or I don't have
Yeah.
this skill, or I don't talk certain way. We all have
Hmm.
this insecurity. When I came to America, I didn't speak any English. I was so afraid that when I call people, they're gonna laugh at my Indian accent that I had. So I had to
First,
work very hard, and but that allows you to grow. I mean,
yes.
if you don't have red, use blue. If you don't have drone, use camera. Whatever you have to get started. Don't get hold up in a situation that, like, okay, I need this and this to get this. No, no, no. You use whatever you have, trying to make it work and get that. And when you get that, then you can have this and that.
There you go. So are you a certified drone pilot yourself, or do you hire pilots under you, or
So
both?
when I got started, I was flying the drone myself.
Mhm.
Now I just hired pilots to do it for me. Now I kind of run the operation, run the management of the company.
Awesome. And I know the FAA this year, they kind of updated a few rules, and some things people don't like, some things people do, and the point is that they're implemented now. So like we can't do
Yeah.
anything about it. We just got to work around or work with the rules. Have you done any night flights commercially yet, with any of
Yes.
your clients? Okay, and
Yes.
how would you say that? What are the difficulties of flying at night, commercially compared to flying at the daytime?
So the biggest thing is the visibility. Everything looks closer and closer, look a lot far just by
Mm.
looking at those lights. So you have to be extremely careful flying at night. We did some critical infrastructure inspection using drone at night,
Hmm.
using the very high beam lights to kind of focus on that and instantly collecting the data that the client needed. We also use the thermal camera on the drone at night because what happens
Mm.
a lot of time, the structure, whatever we are inspecting, gets heated up by the solar load. And in the evening, the rest of the structure gets cooled up, but the anomaly stays a little bit warmer. So using thermal
Ah,
camera at night, you can easily identify it. So you have to be extremely cautious and careful flying at night, but using it gives you a lot of advantage in business too, that you can
yeah,
do the things that a lot of people cannot, or they would want to do but they can't. So
they
it's
can't. Yeah,
important
that's
that you get the authorization to fly at night because it opens up a
for
lot of
sure.
opportunities for you.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, we talked about equipment, but I wanted to. I saw on your Instagram that you had a fixed wing drone. Are you mostly flying fixed wing drones for longer missions? And
Yeah.
for anybody that doesn't know what a fixed wing drone looks like, it's really just like an airplane without like the back fin and the cabin.
Yeah,
It's just basically
yeah.
like it's literally just a wing,
It's a fixed
and it
wing. So
can
so the
go ahead.
reason actually I manufactured the drone, and it was a big
Oh
deal in
wow,
our city that our ledger put me in holding my drone in the front page of the paper because the
that's
office I'm
amazing.
in, we also have a makerspace, and using that makerspace, I created the drone that would collect the air pollution data using
Hmm.
the gas detector and a sniffer, so it flies a
Wow,
very high speed at the long distances and for a longer flight time. So that was the reason I uh, uh, made that drone to actually help in our some of the gas detection projects.
dude, that's amazing. Are you flying those gas detection projects around like oil refineries, or is it just in general?
So let me make one thing clear. We use
Mhm.
the same gas detector on the quadcopter and also the
Okay,
hexacopter, but use the same detector to kind of get the air pollution data. So we helping the city, some of the
got it.
phosphate company here in Florida to kind
Mhm.
of measure their emission using the drone.
Got it. Okay. Wow, man. Wow.
So I use the space to make a tool that could help in my business, to provide my client that other my competition or other companies cannot do. So you
There you go.
have to come up with something that is different than others. You can use a tool, and other 100 people can use the same tool to do the same thing or different things, but that doesn't necessarily make you different thing. But
Yeah.
creating something your own tool that gives you like a competitive advantage over the other companies out there.
Exactly. Especially in your location. So I know you kind of went like far and wide, and you do multi-state. Um, a lot of people will say, and I'm making up excuses for people because this is what we hear. They'll
Yeah.
say, in my town, it's very saturated. The market's saturated, and that's not just for drones. That's for like every business. People will make up that excuse, and they'll use that excuse,
Hmm.
and they just will never start. They'll be like, "Well, I shouldn't do that because everybody's doing it, and that means that there can't be enough clients for me to acquire." Would you say that going multi-state was not really, not saying to use that excuse, but was it like a thing where you just wanted to scale the business to a certain level where so you didn't want to be confined by just Florida or just your area?
So to be honest with you, I did it for me because that time I was new to America and I wanted to see as many places as possible in a short
Oh wow,
amount of time. So
that's
I
awesome.
love traveling, solo traveling. That was the reason I was kind of going on a adventure. That was like a I'm new
Wow.
to America. I don't know anybody, and this is I have the opportunity to be out in the open, and I have like the whole ocean of opportunity. So I'm just gonna
Ye-
go for it. So I was intentionally looking for work outside. That was kind of my thing that I wanted to travel as much as possible and do the more work and make as many connections as possible all over America. So that was the biggest reason I travel all over the country.
mhm.
Every time there is something happen, I would travel to that state. And for example, if there a hurricane came, I would go to that state and then I would figure out to get a client, get the work, and then I'll come back to my state because
There you go.
I didn't knew anybody in America at that time. I was
Yeah.
all by myself. So kind of going out in the open.
Yeah, you went and got it, man. You went and got it. And I think again, this whole entire podcast is about, basically not making up excuses and just starting again, not in this drone business, any tech business, any business period. Not making up excuses. There's if you think about it, there's so much opportunity in this country, and you're a prime example of that. Like you came here not knowing English. First of all, English is hard as shit to learn. I don't know how people come here and learn English. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I give people so much props. So props to you on that. Props to
Thank
you
you.
on not just coming here and living and enjoying the spoils of the country, but like making something of yourself, something you could pass on to your offspring. Um, Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I,
would you
go ahead.
would you say that something that I know I could speak about that maybe a lot of the people that you've spoken to already probably haven't spoken to you about is being a minority. Would you say that you carry somewhat of a chip on your shoulder, and it's not necessarily a chip where you want to like mess with people, but it's a chip that makes you want to like that drives you? Would you say that you have a little bit of that in you, or do you just kind of just do what you got to do?
Um, I kind of focus on myself, not necessarily because I'm the minority or because
Hmm.
I don't have all this other things that becomes a lot of factor for other people. For me, it was
Yes.
just like me, what I would think of myself when I grow older, nothing else matter. When I'm
Yes,
75 year old, what I'm gonna be thinking of myself, like Ruth, you came to this country, you had the knowledge, you had the courage, you had the audacity to go in front of people and knock their doors, and if you didn't make it,
exactly.
what would I be thinking of? So that's kind of thing
There
that
you go.
puts a chip on my shoulder and kind of doing things, not for necessarily someone else. And not
Yeah.
only that, later on, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, let me
I
hear
was in
this.
California, and I saw a lot of the entire city burning, burned
Oh,
already. I didn't see it burning, but I saw many fires, and that was the reason I was in California doing those power line inspection to prevent those fires.
ah,
And
okay.
at the end of the project, we realized we prevented 11 fires from happening by the work we did, and the
It's
pride it
amazing.
gave me, now that feeling keeps me going. The work I
Yes.
do has a lot of impact, and actually that makes my chip even bigger, that
Yeah.
now I have the power to do the things that does it good for humanity, does good for a lot of people. So I try to use the technology for good, drones
Hmm.
for good, because ultimately it's not the chip that's going to take you the furthest. It will might take you point A to point B,
It'll be a
but
boost.
the
Yeah.
purpose and your why is going to take you much further and going to impact a lot of people.
Exactly, exactly. And, you know, everybody has a different why, but that's just another example of, again, I'm on this podcast. I'm always gonna try to make excuses that I hear, or repeat excuses that I hear, and you know, your upbringing, all the stuff, you can easily use them as excuses, and that's a choice. And you know, life is hard for a lot of people.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, you have a choice you can make, and there's abundance of resources, especially now with the internet. Like we live in the greatest time.
Correct.
Period. You know.
I didn't had any internet in India. I still made a drone there without
Still been
learning about the
look at that.
internet, kind of figuring out. But when
Exactly.
I came to America, one thing I was the most grateful for, that I had unlimited internet access, that I can just go anywhere, even the gas
Yeah.
station have Wi-Fi. I'm like, this is insane. I'm gonna consume so much information, and I'm gonna use
Yes.
it. And the good thing is free for everybody. It's
It's free,
everybody. I
man.
learned the entire business there. I connected so many people. So internet's I would say it's the greatest invention after drone.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because it literally connects you with people. It literally gives you all the information you need. It teaches you everything you need. It allows you to express yourself. It allows you to put yourself out there and connect with
Yes.
many people. So use this as the opportunity. I think this is the best time and the easiest time to do business, because
Facts.
you can just take your phone out and reach out to 100 million people if you want to. Use your
Yeah.
creativity to do it.
I mean, perfect example. Like I literally DM'd you on Instagram to get you on this podcast. You know, and
Exactly.
it took me maybe like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
And now we have this content online for people to see forever, basically, as long as the internet survives.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful
And
thing.
not only that, like imagine, like, okay, now you took one action, you sent me one message,
Exactly.
and you had no idea if I'm going to say yes or no. And
No
same thing
idea.
happens in business. Like, when you reach out to people, like happened to me, oh, I have the drone business, hire me. No, 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 no one's going to do that. But
Yeah.
at least reach out to them. You might not have the most perfect pitch. You might not have the most perfect elevator pitch, but it's okay. It's okay. We all are humans, and we all
Yes.
make mistakes, and other person's not going to think anything else. And even if they do, they don't care enough about you. So
Exactly.
put your
And the
fear
worst
aside and go.
the worst you can get is a no, and then you just move on. You know, there's
Yeah,
so many people that will take your business, and a lot more that won't. But just understand that once you find that niche that you have, like how you have your niche, and you're able to prove, you have social proof, you have just proof in general, you have clients like, um can we say your clients? I know a few of your California clients. I mean, you have it on your website, so we could say it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like Edison, like that's a huge client, bro. Like, you know, that's a massive client, and that's just one of a few that you have.
yeah,
So you're living proof, man. And I just want to let everybody know again that everything is super possible. I'm telling
yeah.
myself this as well. Like it's very possible. I've been lucky enough to get myself a few clients just in real estate, and that's giving me
Exactly.
my boost that I need to do. You know, and it's not my
Wonderful.
end all be all, but it's like, all right, this is
Yeah.
this is this is here. Why would I not take it? Like I have my Mavic
G-
2. I can do what I need to do. It takes me 30 seconds. I can make great money, and use that money to build the business that I want to build.
Exactly.
Yes, man. Yes, yes.
A
I
lot of time people think like, oh, if I'm gonna ask for this thing to my client, what they gonna think of me? Ask for the moon and you'll be surprised how many times you will get it. People are willing to help
Yes,
you. Your clients are willing to help you just to try the new technology, and you might not know until you try it. And when you try it, you're gonna get a lot of no, a lot of yes, but guess what? It's gonna be fun if you really want to do
exactly.
it.
If you really want to, and that's the key. If you really want to do it, you know, and it's okay
Yeah.
to do something for a good amount of time and then realize that you don't want to do it, and
Yeah.
then try something else. Especially if you're young like we are, like just try it all. You know,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
you're not gonna have your life figured out by college age like the world expects you to. Like just
No,
move on your own
one
path. You
thing,
know.
one thing I learned that you never have your life figured out because we don't get a trial life to figure this out. This is it.
Yeah,
This is
this is
one
it.
time. So,
Yeah,
and we were not given a rule book that, oh, these are the rules. These are the how you play the game. No, no, no.
yeah.
This is it. You figure it out.
It's a forever game, right? Like it's a forever game, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
Yes.
thing. Just to wrap it up, where do you see the drone industry going? And I'll just start with just a little thing I saw, which I think it's a Nafi Parrot. They released a 4G LTE drone, which will I think that's going to allow for a lot of beyond visual line of sight flights. Where do you see the drone industry going? I mean, with something like that, I just see it going as far as it can. Especially with the FAA working with these companies,
Yes.
allowing for those flights happening, drone delivery. Where do you see the industry going? What are you working on that you think might propel the industry forward?
Industry is getting exposed to the every industry out there. It could be medical, it
Hmm.
could be engineering, it could be infrastructure, agriculture, infrastructure. I mean, you name it. You name it. The drones are being used in each industry: transportation, road safety, everything. So I
Hmm.
think right now we don't have enough drone people. Even though market is
That's facts.
saturated, we don't have
Hmm.
enough drone people to be in this industry because this potential of this industry is massive, massive, massive. You just need to figure out how to use that tool in the right way that would solve bigger problems. So
Exactly.
industry is massive. There's a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. So this is actually the right time to get in because it has matured enough that people know about it. It's not like, oh, you're flying a drone and you get cops called on you every time you fly. That happened to me.
It happens.
But hey,
It happens.
but we passed that stage. We are
We're
past that.
past it.
Now
Yeah.
drones becoming a lot of real thing. People are learning a lot about it.
Hmm.
People are getting educated. And not only that, people are actually seeing the benefit of it, seeing the proof of it. It's how just a tiny tool is changing everything. So I
Everything.
think
Saving
that
lives, man.
absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
And the industry is going a lot further. And I think it's even going to go further and further. So for people
Awesome.
watching this show, this is the right time to jump in.
It's the right time. You heard
Most
it. You heard it
exciting
here
time too.
first.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Awesome, man. Man, thank you so much. You have no idea. Like this is gonna be like the thing. This is like what did they say? It's the spark. This is the spark right here.
Wonderful.
And I appreciate it so much, man.